Hello, hello, one and all! More updates for you on the Dragon Age front. So, first up, final part of the dungeon, the unnamed thing that I can't talk to you about. And of course, what was happening with that. However, I can inform you that someone now has died inside. The group collectively completed it and got through it and will now get out, in a way. Although they haven't quite escaped yet, it's a strange thing. But anyway, they're not quite feeling themselves. But anyway, we've lost Pete. Pete's character's dead again. It was from a nasty situation between the group and their decisions on what to do, and then random dice rolls, and something grabbing him, and then Tim Bob George firing off a nice ignition of fire at the thing trying to eat Eric, a Dalish elf keeper, apprentice person, and that kind of, erupted him in the nice flames, and, already in dying mode is effectively a coup de grace. But, he would have been chomped on anyway, bitten, chomped. So, what monstrous type foes are like with the chompy bitiness and the things that they do. Right, well, that's probably it for Pete now as a player at the table. He's going through some stuff anyway, so it's probably better for him this way, that he just gets to back out and concentrate on getting himself well in the head. It's kind of a bugger, isn't it, when you've got a player that falls so deep into depression that they just change so much that they can't really enjoy doing it anymore the same. So yeah, right, so there's that, and the group are let's say having almost an outer body experience, a transcendental realization. And at this point it feels like their minds are sort of starting to quantum leap into another place where they could imagine that they are someone else. The group obviously now all go up in level, so everyone's 17 except Yellow Eye, who's 18. So yeah, they're flying along now, and if they complete this next thing, this quantum leap type thing, that will give them another level. So what am I up to? What am I doing? Well, what I'm thinking of doing here, and I'm not fully committed to it yet, but I'm thinking of doing it, is running the Fantasy Age Core Starter Adventure, which of course involves some kids, teens coming of age, a kind of thing that they have to do and survive in the area they're in. So maybe okay, drop the group in and let them take over and inhabit these level 1 bodies. And, suddenly when they're level 17 and they're right near endgame, suddenly put them in some other bodies and they're level 1 for a session, and they've got to try to get through this, or whatever. Possibly challenging, giving people classes they're not used to, and, all that kind of jazz. This is really just to, really mix things up for them, give them a little bit of refreshment. So I'm thinking that's what we're going to do next. Anyway, on to the other stuff, so the organisational stuff, the great battle between the Red Hold Consortium and, of course, the Southern Concord. So, Canadal's feeling very low about the whole thing. So's Jez. Anything I do here is not working, but his his plans have been working, but he doesn't think it's good enough. Like it's going to ultimately work in the long run for him. He doesn't feel like confident about it. So that's his state of mind as well. At play there, but he's managed to bring the Grey Wardens in touch with the situation. The Templars are still coming and still haven't arrived yet. We did 2 months worth of organisational stuff. So, and the kind of stuff that happened in that time, well, Tanador was still gone. He delegated a lot of stuff over to some of his generals, so that they can try to make the calls, the decisions on how to attack, how to defend, and what to do. And the main points to speak of were of Redhold's lot looking to stir up some trouble in amongst the South's people, saying, basically trying to push that, look, they should have a vote of no confidence. They can't bloody run a piss up in a brewery. Look what we're doing. We actually can do all this. Leave it behind. It's going to get very bloody. So they're using their persuasion. They're people coming in and saying that they can't do shit all. And in doing that, made a whole load of those people in the south leave, which was a brutal loss to the southern side, that they should just all flock away from the place. And then, to make matters worse, they came along and started using their merchants to put the gear down, basically, and try to influence the trade by saying, well, this stuff, we're buying it off and it's turning up in dodgy places, and it's actually low quality workmanship, and it's this and it's that, and it's just being extremely dodgy about the purchase, the acquisition thereof of the items. Also, Damus had visited both sides and stole a whole load of their mages. So Tanador's magic score went down another 1, because he had almost all the rest of his mages go, with only some left now. And Karak lost 2 magic, because he had more mages to be taken, that could be taken. So he lost 2 in his magic. So that was a huge blow, them just leaving with Damus. There's that, and also the Redhold Consortium have lost another 1 wealth, at least temporarily until further notice. Now this has happened because all trading with the mountains from Orzammar has ceased. All trading. What we've worked out is that Tanador has gone there in person to Orzammar and protested to the king, firstly about the lyrium stuff that's happening, and the king's had to shut down the Carter so that they won't bring the Seekers right down upon them, or at least convince them to stop. But he's also, because Tanador went in person, cancelled all trade to the mountains, and that's going to at least be for 1 month, at least. So that's probably a temporary thing until they get the whole trade embargo re-established. So things also got a bit bloody. So Tanador's side, they tried doing a few things. They tried playing their games back. They're not quite as subtle as the Redhold people, not so quick with their words and their minds. So they don't win the victories in the same way when they attempt that. But one thing that does stand out as very successful, somewhat, was an attack on the mages. They wanted to specifically go into some of the other holds that support the Redhold Alliance and kill some of their mages. So they got a few mages, but they didn't necessarily kill the best mages. So there was contingencies in place for replacement mages quickly to come forward and replace the losses. However, some elite guards did get killed in that attack. But yeah, the Southern Accord fought back really valiantly in the 2 months of organisation strain. Dealt great heaps of damage on the Red Hold lot in that sense. Killing of personnel, killing of those elite guards, and the second attack was to basically try to gain insight into their side for an upcoming engagement. And the reason I speak of this is because both sides know that it's coming to proper meet on the field and have things out. And that is because Tanadal's side are now in ruins as an organisation, and they have to do something to try to repair the circumstance they find themselves in. So in this case it's going to be a mass battle, and if they can win this mass battle, then as per the rules they get a couple of attribute points and like 2d6 of a boost back sort of thing of stability. But that said, the Red Hold Consortium, their stability's getting quite low as well. So, they've been quite hurt by this. Whatever the South have on them, it's for this upcoming battle. So they've really injured them in their stability in like this shocking piece of intel, but it's also going to give them a bonus in the upcoming mass battle. So next time we're going to run the organisational stuff as per usual, followed by a mass battle. So the two sides, are going to have it out, and it could all be over right here for the southern side, potentially, if they lose this battle, because they won't be able to make their way back up. They'll just keep losing more and more stability because they're like in minus stability right now. And kind of the bad thing for them is, even if they win the battle, they may not actually gain enough stability back from all their negative stability to restabilize them to 0, which might mean they need to fight another battle. Now, that's actually quite realistic, because what that would mean, is they've had to fight to drive Red Hold back, who are all on top of them basically, moving into their holds and saying, look, it's okay, look, we'll look after you, we'll take over, and they're stepping in and saying, hey, out, get out now. And then their soldiers are coming in and saying, no, you're not doing that, and then saying, yes, we are, we outnumber you. Oh, well, okay. So we leave, and then we come back with like 400 men, and you've called for reinforcements just in case, and you've got like 400 men, and then suddenly it's however many bloody hundreds helping them, and then we've got a battle on our hands. It was going to happen at some point. But if then the Southern Accord beat them, they would have pushed them back, and if they want to exploit the gains they've made, they then have to push further again. So it's that push further again, another battle with the reserves, with whatever hold they might have pushed forward to, and they need to hit them and push them back to actually start to make a gain, an advancement. Because if there's not advancements made in this war for one side, then it's just going to be all part of a steep decline. So that's the update on it all, guys. That's everything I can tell you about this thus far. But things are about to get crazy. This could be a very important battle. And even if the South win it, they might need to win another one. Good God. But they can still do something. And the Templars still haven't arrived. And we are now 1 month before the start of Dragon Age Origins computer game timeline. Zamagad, I'll see you at the table.